Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Restorations and Repairs. Check it out, man. You got the Vdiag VD80BT Lite. I've reviewed the Vdaig VD70. I like that tool, and hopefully I will like this one as well. It is Bluetooth, with a Bluetooth dongle. So I don't know much about it. It's a relatively new tool, but let's take a look at it and see what it says here on the back. Android operating system is 10, so a relatively new one. 4 gig of RAM, 8 megapixel camera, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz as far as wireless, 64 gig of ROM, quad core processor, 8-inch touchscreen, 1280 by 800 resolution. Not bad. And let's pop this thing out of the case, or out of the box here. Let's see what we got. All right. Nice blow molded case. Set that aside. And you can see. So clearly something to fit into a toolbox, no problem. And it's hard plastic, so sustain a drop or two in there. Nice metal clasps. And it's hard to see on footage or camera there, but there's actually a place to put a lock. God, I hope you don't work at a shop where you have to lock up your scan tool, but these things do happen from sometimes. Get this out of the way here. And let me get the camera closer and we'll take a closer look at this thing. So up on top here, we do have a USB-C to USB-C connecting port. We do have a universal wall wart, as I call them. It comes with, it's set up here for US, which is nice, USB-C port. And there is a USB to USB adapter. And then if you're in foreign lands, we have 2 other setups there for you as far as charging goes. So that's kind of cool. And then we do have our dongle here. Let me get that out. There it is, wireless Bluetooth dongle. And it does look like it has the ability to do a USB-C hardwire to it. So maybe for programming. I'm not sure the level of programming on this. The VD70 had some programming abilities. This might be a little bit more advanced. We'll have to see. If I can get the foam off of here. There we go. We'll pull this out. And here we go with the main unit. Nice. It's like rubberized on the outside, but it's a metal case or a hard plastic, whatever it is. As you can see, it does have a rear-facing camera with a light, which is good for documenting, damages and concerns. One of the most requested pieces of tech that you can put on these things is having a nice place to sit it upright or hang it off of a steering wheel so you can diagnose things in the car. Let's see here. Up on top, we have our single USB-C port. That's an interesting choice to go with C instead of a regular USB, but I can dig it. They do include an adapter for USB-C. So if you plug USB-C in on this side and you want to plug in a regular USB device, you do have the option to do that. And then our power button. Cool. All right, well, let me set everything aside. We'll power this thing up. And usually the first time you fire these things up, it does take a bit for it to get all the way loaded, but we'll take a look and see just how long that takes. And there's usually some registration that must take place as well. The dongles, I've never seen one with a port like that. That's kind of cool. All right. All right, so it's got some setup. I'll just go ahead and run through that. I won't bore you with that information, but I'll start the camera back up here when we're done. All right, and once we've registered the product here we are. Really nice. I like the darker layout on this one here. And so we have some stuff here. We have special functions, manual diagnosis, auto scan, report updates, and more, as well as service center. Let's start with settings. All right, and we can go into units. We're going to stick with metric for right now. USB settings, let's take a look at that. We can transfer videos and files between this unit and a PC, or we can do so. We can also hook up and do expansion mode here. Display, I've got all the way up. Brightness level, I've got all the way up. And then about, we got here the software that is currently supplied with, plus our OS settings. So this is going to take us to our Android settings, memory, storage, and about, right? So that's pretty nice, actually. So I like the fact that it's more modern. It's amazing in 2025. There's so many scan tools still being sold with like OS 5.0 or 4.3 I've even seen on a scan tool that I reviewed. You won't see that one on the channel. I was shocked that here we are in 2025 and they're using such an outdated version of Android. So it's nice to see something a little more current and supported. All right, remote control. I'm not going to click on that, but that's if we want to have a customer support somewhere else on the planet helping us do diagnostics. It's nice to have, but not something that I would normally want to use. Of course, after 30 years in the business, if I can't fix it, I don't know that it can be fixed. That was what I would say most likely. Service center here, we'll get into that. This is like their tech support or customer service as far as like, do we have a problem here? And you can, so you know, with all scan tools, an update that fixes 100 problems on this scan tool is probably going to break 3 more. So if you have an update and then you go to use a specific vehicle, you're not able to get into a certain subcategory or whatever, well then this is where you go. You go in here and you file, hey, you know, Volvo 2018 couldn't get into the rear electric module. And that allows tech support to be like, okay, next update, we got to fix that because clearly we cracked something or broke something. All right, so let's get back out of that. Let's check out health report we'll do in the car. Updates, I mean, you know, there's probably going to be 100 of them. I don't want to do it now. It'll take forever. And then we have more. Let's see what other is offered here. All right, so profile. Profile is where you're going to get into setting up your shop and your technician name and all the address information, that kind of stuff. BCI management. If you were to lose this tool and purchase another one, you just register that. There's a number on there, but you can register the BCI. It often, and I don't know because this one obviously is not new, but like you plug this thing in on a lot of them and you go to BCI management, it's going to detect this Bluetooth device and say, do you want to marry this to this? And you say yes, and that's it. Looks like there is an endoscope or a boroscope that you can purchase as an add-on. We do have a user's manual that's right there on it, and then a massive, I'm sure, vehicle coverage guide that covers probably every car out there. Right on. Special functions, let's get in there and take a look at that. And I mean, it's funny, what used to cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars is now pretty much become the norm. Look at the things that we can do. Electric water pump activation, EGR relearn, headlight, window initialization, suspension adaptation, rain light sensor adaptation, high voltage battery reset, turbo relearn, language, AC relearn, seat calibration, start stop, control unit reset, tire size reset, air fuel ratio adaptation, airbags, power balance, CPS, crank position sensor, throttle adaptation, ABS bleeding, DPF regen, gearbox adaptation, TPMS, injector coating, BMS, battery management system reset, electronic power steering adaptation, electronic power steering reset, and oil reset, all available. So a pretty well-rounded tool when it comes to doing this. Of course, not every vehicle that you're going to work on has all these things, and of course, every vehicle you work on is not going to have all these things available. So there will be times you run into something where the feature just doesn't work. As far as what makes the models, you know, trial by error. I work on every make and every model. Usually, I haven't ever worked on a VinFast because they don't really exist. But you know, if they're sold here in the U.S., chances are at least one of them has come across the shop. And I'd say on average, about 95% of the time, the tool will have everything you need to get it done. All right, manual diag, auto diag, you know, the rest of the stuff. Let's go out to a car and see how well it performs. Let's do it. All right, let's go on into this. And we're going to do automatic detection. There's our car. All right, let's see what kind of fun we can get into here. Let's do an automatic scan of the systems, see what it can find. ECM is here. That's not good. Need to roll through that pretty quickly. A lot of problems though. Let's do a report on that. Save that, and then we've saved a report that pretty much covers it. So let's take a look. We had issues here with the UEM, rain sensor, internal fault or loss of signal, steering wheel module, flashing headlights take too long, headlight flash activated long time. Interesting. Power seat, memory button too slow. Passenger door module, door mirror motor signal too low, window motor signal too low, door mirror motor disconnected. This car's got all kinds of things going on today. Window motor signal too low for driver's side. Climate control, air quality sensor internal fault. Evaporator temperature sensor signal too high. Sunlight sensor signal too high. CEM 10 codes, holy cow. Communication with audio, climate control, safety assist, driver's door, steering wheel, upper, oh my gosh, this just goes on and on and on. That's not good. Hey, let's clear all those and see what happens. And what I like to do here is, because this thing's got all kinds of weird stuff going on, I'm going to clear all this mess. And then I am going to go back in there, restart the car, and do another scan to see what's a hard code versus what's not. And let's do that here in a second. There we go. So already it's saying, hey, these things have got real problems. Let me shut the car off and restart it. Okay, I'm going to scan it again now that the car has been shut off and restarted. You can see we're rolling through these things pretty quickly. And we do still have some CEM faults. All right, so but we've narrowed it down here. We take a look here. We've gone from a whole lot of faults, like CEM had issues. Now we just don't have any communication with the audio control module and the main CEM communication fault. Climate control still, however, the evaporator temperature sensor, sunlight sensor, air quality sensor, those are issues that it really has. Driver's door motor, passenger door motor is disconnected. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. It seems to be working okay, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but sometimes these things will lie to you. And UEM here, the rain sensor and loss of signal, not unusual for that to occur. All right, well that's that. Let's get into some. Yeah, let's get into doing diagnostics. So let's get into engine. I want to see diagnostics for the engine. Show you some of the stuff we can dig into with this, and then we'll wrap this video up. So again, read DTC clear, but we can take a look at live data, and that's kind of what I'm curious about right now. Okay, well apparently on a 2004 Volvo, live data is not supported. That is kind of a surprise. Actuator tests, let's take a look at those. All right, we can turn on and off the air conditioning relay, evap purge valve, injectors, pulse width controlled fan, throttle and turbo valve control. Cool. And what special functions? We can look at our readiness, fuel tank quick test, so evap quick test, throttle adjustments, exhaust cam control quick test, and intake quick test. All right, let's get out of that and let's see what other systems we can dig into here. Let's get into something weird. Yeah, let's take a look at SRS. Not weird, but let's take a look at it. And we again can take a look at live data. Maybe we can get into live data on the SRS. There we go. There we go. So we have automatic passenger system, seatbelt, driver's side buckle unlocked, right? Well, let's see if we can buckle that and see if it changes that. There we go. So that's working fine. Passenger airbag, again, steering position, left-hand drive, vehicle type V70. So information that you can see there on the live data is pretty cool. What about ABS? Let's do ABS next. There we go. Anti-lock brake was right there and didn't even pay attention to it. There we go. All right, there's ABS. Let's take a look at special functions there. We can calibrate digital static traction control or check brake light switch adjustment. And what kind of actuator test do we have? Wow, okay. So as far as ABS control module, we have a whole lot we can do. I'll let you just read through that. Cool. All right, let's dig into something a little different here. Let's look at the UEM and see what we can do with the UEM. All right. And then we'll wrap this video up. What kind of special functions the UEM have? Start and read sunroof parameters, set up the control unit. What we got here? So if we're replacing it, we can be programmed. We can door light control timer. The door time from the door is unlocked or the engine is shut down when the light goes out. Time when the door opens till the lights go out. Dimming the amount of interior rear view mirror. I don't know what that is. Oh, downloading files. We don't want to do any downloads to this. This has not been replaced, but there you go. Now, this is very common on Volvos. The alarm goes bad. You can replace that. Control module replacement, we reprogram it, set values, and read and save tire pressure ID numbers. So there's definitely some cool stuff in there. There's no actuation on that. What else we got here? I'm trying to think. I'll go to one more system here and we'll see driver's information module. Yeah, let's take a look at that. We'll take a look at that one and then we'll wrap it up. Just want to show you all that it gets into a lot of the subsystems without a whole lot of problems. All right, special functions on the DIM. Test all needles and lights on the dashboard. Reset service reminder, program audible on, oh yeah, I don't want that. I don't want this to beep, right? Program information, and read settings and drivers information module. Let's take a look. It's saying here, do I want it in miles or kilometers? Right, so I could change it if I was leaving the country or changing countries. All right, reset the service. We could program inputs. I don't want that. We could test all the needles on the dash, but I think the car has to be off, so I won't be able to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that because but it'll do a sweep test. Like, you know, Ford Rangers, just a key on, they would just do a sweep test on those things, which is kind of nice. All right, well, cool. I guess that'll wrap it up. And it's a nice little tool. Not the most expensive, but it does have, I think it doesn't expire for 2 years, so you got a 2-year subscription after that. Who knows what the price will be with hyperinflation, but, you know, it'll be there. And hopefully you'll be able to update it. You can see massive amount of updates here. I think it's got, 105 available updates for this tool. And I'm sure that some of those will probably help with some of the stuff that this scan tool can do going forward in the future. I'll leave a link to where you can get one of these things, and I will see you next time. Take care.